Canada ended its combat mission in Afghanistan in 2011 and its military training role in 2014. Canada's contribution since then has largely been in the form of development assistance. Nipa Banerjee has long experience with Canada's international aid programs and headed the aid program in Afghanistan from 2003 to 2006. She's now a senior fellow at the School of International Development and Global Studies at the University of Ottawa. After 2 decades of war and your involvement in that country, I'd like to know first how you would describe the situation in Afghanistan now.
To describe the situation in Afghanistan now, after 17 years of war, I would like to have a look at what the objectives were in 2001. The objective of the international community and Canada was to stabilize Afghanistan from the 40 years of war that they had encountered and establish a legitimate state. It would secure the support of its people. It would extend its authority across the length and breadth of the country. It would be able to perform the functions of a normal government and deliver the services to the people. What we see today, however, is that really none of these have been achieved.
Is it better or worse?
It's worse. It's much worse. Authority of the state of Afghanistan or the government of Afghanistan is only over about 50% of the Afghan territory. The rest of the country, the Taliban has either full control or they have very strong influence.
What about life for the people?
It's like, there has been severe economic decline in the country, and there is rampant unemployment in the country since the departure of the troops in particular, because they had stimulated business. They were in the market and buying things, and that is no longer there. So unemployment is really rampant, and many of the donors left. People don't have security. What I hear from people when I talk to Afghan, both men and women, is that they're afraid to go out into the streets because they don't know if they would return.
Since Canada ended its military contribution, how effective has Canada's contribution been? Because its contribution has been more on the aid side, obviously.
I really don't think the departure of the troops, Canadian troops, has made too much of difference. I would say that Canada is focused on the sectors and the areas that do need support.
For example?
For example, like with women's
yes.
support for their rights, then health services, education. But saying that does not mean that it is benefiting the people, because the programming and planning has not taken into consideration the Afghanistan operating environment and proper context analysis. Like, I'm all for the feminist international assistance. However, the problem is the context in Afghanistan and many other countries, Islamic countries, are so different that feminism cannot be exported from Canada and just implanted in Afghanistan.
What needs to happen to make those programs, whether they're focused on women's rights or education or health, in your view, what needs to happen to make them actually work?
There needs to be harmonized strategies between the donors. They should not go in different directions.
The different non-governmental organizations need to work together?
Non-governmental organizations also need to work together. But, I think that in Afghanistan's context, going through the multilateral organizations, such as the World Bank, is a better idea. because the donors will be working together, they will be coordinated, there will be no duplication of efforts, and the money is going through the Afghanistan budget system that will help Afghanistan to develop their own capacity to plan and operate programs. And another thing very much necessary is really regular monitoring and evaluation of the programs in order that we know what is going wrong, what is working, what is not working, so that we can reform the programs and adjust it to the needs.
To have been involved as you have been, you have to be hopeful. Are you still hopeful about Afghanistan?
I think that I'm very frustrated and losing hope, maybe because I have been so much involved with Afghanistan. I put in a lot of time. I did a lot of analysis. I don't think those kind of analysis, not only mine, but the others, are being used. And you know, I have lost also optimism about the Afghanistan government. In the beginning, when we were there were ministers and there were government officials who were some of the best I've seen in my CEDA career. And those people are no longer there. And we have the National Unity Government, which is not working out well. At the same time, the donors haven't really learned, and they haven't used much of the knowledge they have gained in the past to improve their programming. And I think that there is no military solution to this war. It is very much necessary that a peace agreement be made with the Taliban. Without a peace agreement, it is not possible to expel the Taliban. And another thing needs to be understood is that Taliban also are citizens of the country. You know, they have a stake. It's not true that all of them are coming from Pakistan.
Right.
There might be some infiltration, but not all of them.
Right.
So, and they should have been involved in 2001 during the Bonn Agreement, but that chance was missed because U.S. absolutely didn't want them.
Right. I thank you very much for your perspective.
Thank you.